little while, I left that position and took a position working for the Iowa Donor Network, which is my state's organ procurement agency. I worked as a tissue recovery tech, so I did the surgical excision of tissues for transplant, and that was skin, bones, veins, heart for valves, corneas. From that position, when I worked at Iowa Donor Network, I learned about an opening at the state medical examiner's office. And I had originally applied for an autopsy tech position, but during the interview process with them, they offered me a position as a medical legal death investigator, which at the time I didn't think was something that I had qualified for. I had heard about the position. I was familiar with it, but just didn't think it was something that I'd be able to or allowed to do. But I did ultimately accept that position and found out that as a licensed funeral director, I actually fit in really well in this position.
Somebody said to me, in order to be a good funeral director, you need to be able to shut off your emotions. And I think that couldn't be more wrong. Yeah. I think when I walk into meeting a family and they know that I can relate to them on some level, and I can actually empathize with them, and I can show them how to maneuver through the grief that feels so overwhelming, I think that's the best thing that we can do, opposed to walking in completely blank. If I can give anything to anybody, find another person in this field that you can talk to.
Yeah.
And that goes for men, women, whomever, anybody in this field, because the baggage that you receive from this job can be extremely heavy. You need to be able to unload on somebody, and somebody that understands it. And sometimes when you go home, your spouse, significant other, your mother, father, whoever you talk to is not going to get it.
They won't get it.
Find somebody that can relate to you, because you can get in the car and go, oh my God. I had to do this today, or, you know, the days that you are dealing with the tragedies or, you know, the strange situations that can happen sometimes. It's very important to have somebody that you can talk to, and I thank God that I have her, because I don't know if I would have survived without that.
Same.
I was the facility director of the Islamic Society of Boston, the largest Islamic center in New England. I was never inclined towards learning science. I'm a business major, so, you know, I kind of ditched all the science courses. And so coming here, if it was not for these two, you know, in their dedication, they're tough, they're not easy, but they explain to you. And if you don't understand, you know, both of them, without any exception, they will stop the entire course and then make sure that you understand what they're teaching you before moving on to the next subject. And I really appreciate that on them.
It goes to show, don't let anyone tell you you can't. Even if you're a woman, even if you're short, even if you're tall, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want.
I first started off as a professional actor, and I did that for quite a few years, living in New York City, traveling around the country, traveling to other countries. And I really didn't get any fulfillment out of it, really. I mean, from when I was little, I grew up in a family of funeral directors. So there was always in the back of my mind, like, oh, I like this. I can do this. You know, it's something interesting, something with meaning in it. And after doing all those years with acting, it's like I'm not getting the meaning I want out of my life. And I decided to take a crack at being a funeral director, follow in the family footsteps, and I actually did find my meaning.
One of the greatest experiences of my entire life, going to Fine Mortuary College, which was one of the classes that I took at Fine. I had a business plan assignment that I did, which was traveling funeral director. And so that's what I started doing. I started traveling around and helping funeral homes out when they wanted to go on a vacation, or if they needed just some help in general. And I mainly worked for this gal, Desert Rose Funeral Chapel in Lakeview, Oregon, and had a great time doing that.